Mabuhay, hey, hey! Andito naman ang inyong lingkod na si Tito Brett mula sa Frankfurt, Germany para sa isang mainit na kwentuhang Pinoy. Okay, tawagin natin ang ating co-host na si Ate Janine. Ate Janine, pasok!
Mabuhay, hey, hey! It's Ate Janine from San Sebastian, Spain. Kamusta na, Tito Brett? Nawala tayo ng
Nagkasakit
ng mga
ako.
meetings na. Ako rin!
Nagkasakit
Feeling ko
ako.
spring. Changing of weather, ganon. Pero hindi naman COVID. Yung sa'yo.
Hindi naman COVID. Nagkaroon lang ako ng parang viral infection. Tapos, ang sakit ng ulo ko. So, I had to take a rest. Tapos, after nun, medyo busy. Tapos, kahapon, nag-snow. So,
oh my gosh. Weather na naman, Tito
weather lang
Brett.
talaga.
Dito rin nag-hail. The other day, nag-hail. Tapos sobrang parang bipolar yung weather. Na sunny, tapos gray, tapos biglang
parang
ulan, biglang may hail. Tapos ngayon may snow na naman sa ano.
Yung weather nga
Dito wala, pero sa loob meron. Ha?
Moody ang weather eh.
Oo, moody. Lalo na pag spring and autumn.
Oo,
no?
Temperamental.
Yung parang transition.
Oo, mainit ang ulo. Minsan
Ipa-plug ko lang, masaya yung usapan namin ni Tito Brett and kwentuhan about weather. Yung isang episode namin in the past. So, may mga nakikinig ngayon, baka gusto nila i-check out
pwede nila puntahan yung Facebook page natin, tapos nandoon ang mga catalog ng mga videos natin.
Correct. And last time, ano ba yung topic natin last? Language. Wika.
Oo.
And nakasama natin doon si Asher.
Oo.
Diba? Baka pwede natin siya isama ngayon. Isama natin si Asher. Mas
tawagan mo nga si Asher. Tawagan nga natin si Asher.
Okay, wait lang.
Asher!
Yan. Asher! Ay! Asher!
Walang... Asher?
Huwag kayo maingay.
Ay, sorry. Nasaan ka ba?
Nasaan ka ba?
May nangyayari sa labas. Wait lang. Silip lang ng saglit.
Okay, go.
Wait lang.
Oh my gosh, may chismis! Tito Brett!
Grabe, parang mukhang malaki nangyayari dito. Diyos ko.
Anyari?
Ano ba yun? Asan ka ba, Asher?
May nag-aaway ba sa
labas? Uwi ka ba ng Pilipinas?
Parang ganun na nga. Ang daming mga dito. Diyos, pag uwi ko pa lang, pagbungad pa lang ng airport, may mga nagkukumpulan ng mga babae. Akala ko pa naman, mga pupunta ng simbahan, sasayaw sa ubando. Ayun pala,
Asan ka ba ngayon?
Hindi, nasa sari-sari store ako ngayon. Kasi tinulungan ko lang yung tita ko magbantay.
Oo.
Hindi ko man alam na ito pala ang kumpulan ng mga Marites.
Marites? Ano ba yung Marites? Kandidato ba yan?
Hindi.
Hindi ko alam yung kandidato yan ng senador.
Tito Brett,
Kami kandidato Marites dito.
Marites.
Yan? Marites is, tuturo lang sa akin to. Parang the shortcut for Mari. Anong latest? Tapos naging Marites na. Dahil tayo naman mahilig mag-shortcut.
Correct. And Tito Brett, may viral video yan. Di mo ba napanood?
Hindi ko pa napapanood yan.
May viral video.
Uy, baka sa labas nito na play ha. Baka sa labas nito na record ha. Tingnan natin.
Oo nga, baka dyan nire-record yung Marites. Pero wait lang. Play natin ng onte. Sige. Okay.
May pagpupulong na naman bagong papakinggan.
Guys, come with me for a second. You see this cloth? They may look like a normal clothing, but if you look closely, you will see nanotechnology in titanium. This is a body armor called the Duster, and it is owned by Marites. And if you want to know what Marites is and how they can save the Philippines, stick to this video. America has currents that go brr, and Marites are almost as the same version of that, but better. See, Marites with its scientific name, Chismosis maritinensis, is a lady that shares gossips to other ladies. They are known as human CCTV. They use their eyes to see a target and gossip its personal life. Even if you are kilometers away, they will see you with your boyfriend. Their eyes are so sharp that they can see even in the tiniest hole. And they meet every day anywhere they want. At the sari-sari store, in front of the gate, or just in the corner. Rain or shine to share the informations they got. Their mouths is faster than M&N. Their news searching skills is faster than any news outlet. Like fast. Very fast. Even it's not already happening, they already knew it. And Google? It's nothing to them. They can tell you.
Okay, yan. Yan. O, ikat na natin. Tapos lagay na lang natin yung link sa comments para mapanood ni Tito Brett. So, Tito Brett, yun nga, Marites, basically, mga nagjijizmizan sa labas. And nagsaspread ng mga chismes.
Mare, ano ang latest? Yung ba yun?
Yes.
Correct.
Kasi nung panahon namin, ang tawag namin dyan, Los Hijas de Chismosas.
Wow! Spanish talaga!
Los Hijas de Chismosas. Ay, naging Marites, naging Americanized, ha? Na-Americanized.
Kasi Tito Brett, dito pag sinasabi ko chismis, gets nila. Kasi may word sila na chisme.
Okay.
I don't know, baka doon nang galing or baka sa Pilipinas nang galing, I don't know. Pero gets nila dito sa Spain pag sinasabi ko
But in
chismis,
Spanish,
pero chisme.
ang chismis in Spanish is gossip. Tama ba? Or...
English yun, di ba?
Hindi, yung chismis.
Oo.
Ah?
Oo.
Tama ba?
Oo,
Tama ba
tama,
yung...
tama.
Yes. It's not chismis, it's chisme.
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 Wait lang. Medyo, okay, tahimik na. Mukhang
Okay,
magluluto
okay.
na sila ng
Di, baka ready na sila to spread it out.
Ano ba
Already.
pinagkakaguluhan nila muna dyan, Asher?
Di ko rin sure eh. Nung isang araw, mayroon daw isa sa kailang kumare na ang tawag dito, nakiapid yung asawa. Tapos meron naman isa na yung anak, pinagkisimisan yung isa doon sa anak ng kasama na nagbubulakbol daw. Pero imbes na nagpapasok sa school. Tapos yung meron naman yung isa, ano ba dito? Napagkamalan na...
Ang dami mo
ano?
lang alam.
Na ano?
Napagkamalan na may jowa. Pero iba pala yung tinatago. Nagkanda reveal ng secret. Nagkaungkata ng pas. Sabi nga, Diyos ko, sabay-sabay yung ungkata ng pas dito.
Walang jury to si Asher, ah.
Pero, okay, feeling ko we have a thing na pag Pinoy super like chismosa. And gets ko yun, parang I want to know the updates. Alam mo yun? Parang, kamusta na si ganyan, kamusta si ganyan. Pero feeling ko hindi naman siya purely Pinoy thing. Kasi dito rin na parang smaller city, parang alam ng mga tao kung anong nangyayari sa ibang tao. And it just happens that way. Parang naglalakad sa kaya tapos, kamusta ka na? Di ba, nasa Pilipinas ka dati? Kay Mikela. Oo, ganyan. Tapos biglang, nagsaspread. Tito Brett, dyan ba? Parang chismosa rin yung mga peeps?
There's a peculiarity sa culture nila na yung mga Germans, when they get together, alam mo, they have a history of chismis kasi. If I remember it right, in East Germany, you really don't know na the person or your neighbor is a spy.
Oo.
So that's
kung
why...
parang part sila ng Nazis o hindi.
Or part sila ng KGB, ng mga Russian spies noon.
Seryoso?
Noong Cold War. So they have a very, parang takot sila na they're guarded parate. Kaya hindi mo masyado silang, hindi tulad ng Amerikano that when you get to meet an American.
Open.
Yeah. Ganon.
Parang buong buhay nila, ikaw
parang
nila.
ang German guarded because ganon yung may parang history na guarded sila na baka pag chismisan ka. And usually, nakikita mo, for example, may mga matatanda, may mga Los Hijas, naglalakad yan sa village namin. Nakikita ko yan, parang banded sila. Tapos, ayoko yung tinitingnan ako dahil kasi sigurado pinag-uusapan ka noon.
Oh my! So may chismis rin dyan. Pero parang mas scary yung chismis dyan. Parang
because it costed...
Yung history nila is like you might get caught, you might be brought to jail, you might be tortured.
That's true. That's why ngayon, very strict ang Germany with regarding sa chismis, fake news, very strong. Like for instance, nung elections, nag-elect ng bagong chancellor ang Germany, naglabas sila ng warning sa YouTube na nobody is allowed to discuss the results while it is counting. Kung i-discuss nyo, ilalabas nyo yung video sa YouTube, we will take it down.
Wow. So, okay. I love it.
It's not, you have to take it to consideration. It's not controlling, regulating media.
Yeah. No,
But
exactly.
it's more of, okay lang i-spread mo if it's true. Correct.
No, they're extra careful. And the reason why I love it isn't because they're strict. It's because of how complex it was to get there. Parang gets nila yung power of propaganda and parang how it can really make a nation do something that is inhumane. Alam mo yon? And they accept that part of their history and they're very conscious in making sure na it doesn't happen again. Diba?
It's true because you have to remember no World War II, yung propaganda machine, one of the best propaganda machines.
Oh, that's like everyone learned from that,
Ha?
diba?
Itong trolling na term ngayon, ninyo ni Asher at ni Janine, it was nothing compared to the trolling or propaganda machine na ginawa nung World War II. Because everything, alam mo ba, tinitingnan pa nila yung sineset up nila yung such way na maganda. Tapos sineset up nila yung uniforms ng mga sundalo nila to look na talagang nakakatakot, masculine, flashy. That's why kung makikita mo sa Schindler's sa isang mga World War II movies, ang gaganda ng mga uniform nila, di ba? Parang, wow, ang popogi. Talagang yung Aryan, yung kumbaga matangos ang ilong, pogi, macho, chomats.
I mean, calculated lahat, di ba?
Yes.
In a way, parang marketing, di ba? Parang, okay, dapat ganito yung itsura, ganyan, to capture the market, ganun.
Bakit, Asher? Ano ba latest dyan sa Pilipinas? Anong mga tinatawag nating propaganda o fake news na lumalabas?
Well, ang dami, hindi na ako maka-keep up, Kalo. At hindi lang siya propaganda eh. Hindi na siya propaganda just to influence kung ano yung present course. But also it's part of yung tinatawag na historical revisionism na tinatry nilang baliktarin yung naratibo na kung ano talaga yung nangyari noon. Yeah. At ang sabi nila kasi parang parang sabi ng lola ko, sabi ng lolo ko, ganito, ganyan. Although, well, without disrespecting our elders, which I think is self-explanatory naman, parang we depend too much on like the nearest context the nearest source of context that we have. Ayun yung family natin. But that does not reflect kung ano talaga nangyari on the wider society at that time. Kaya maganda kung naging okay naman yung kinahinatnan ng lola at lolo mo noon na baka dati umaakit pa ng bundok, tumatawid ng ilog at tumatalon pa sa bukid para lang hindi makagat ng crocodile para na makapasok sa eskwela. At ngayon ay may kalsada na. Okay.
Okay.
No, but I mean, I want to be clear that we're talking about a dictatorship in the Philippines. Like, we had a dictatorship in the Philippines. Diba? Parang, and yes, yun nga, may mga people with good memories, the lucky ones, and then there are going to be people that were that were put away and tortured. And I'm sure it's the same in Germany. Like, there were, diba? Parang, there were businesses that flourished during the war, diba? Like, they had to be Nazis, but they still helped some. But alam mo yun, parang in an entire country, iba-iba talaga yung experiences. But you have to accept na may dictatorship. Like here, oh my gosh, like I just watched, parang may series sa Netflix about Franco, which is their dictator. And I wanted to watch it kasi it's my new home. So I want to learn, di ba, what happened. And apparently, parang after he died, they came to an agreement. They made this law na you're not, parang forget. Parang forget na lang natin. Parang ganon. So you're not actually allowed to dig back into the past and what happened. And let's say may mga I don't know, military na nag-torture ng mga tao or whatever. You can't prosecute them. Like they're victims that are trying to prosecute them from Latin America. So parang OMG. I see a big contrast with Germany na when I went there parang to travel, yes, very dark. It's sad. But parang it happened and we have to learn from it. And if we don't know what really happened, how can we learn from it, diba? Parang if we can't talk about it openly, wala. We're going to repeat
Let me get this straight. Ibig mo ba sabihin, Asher, dyan sa Pilipinas, nawala na ba yung sense of, kasi ako, nanggaling ako dyan, I grew up during I'm a martial law baby. So, and I was, kumbaga, I saw everything, yung tail end na ng martial law. Kumbaga, gaano kahirap yung mga pictures na nakikita ko when I was still, di ba, growing up. I saw the picture of yung payat na babae na sa Negros.
Oo.
I saw that picture. Ibig mo
Pero
sabihin
saan mo
ngayon?
nakita yun, Tito Brett? Because, di ba, like, media was controlled also. I mean, it's a dictatorship.
It was a picture na ginawa from an international news agency. I'm not sure, ha? And yun, nakikita namin yun nung panahon ng tail end na ng martial law. And then, magulo yun ng tail end ng martial law because every day we saw rallies, protesting, na nagpo-protest against the dictatorship. And we knew that there was a dictatorship because actually biruin mo, ha, I was a child during the tail end ng martial law. And ang usong-uso na was Voltes 5.
Okay.
All of a sudden, so every 7 o'clock, I still remember, manunod na kami ng brother ko ng Voltes 5. Kasi parang series di ba?
Oo.
All of a sudden, bigla na lang, ba't wala ng Voltes 5? Tinanggal ng gobyerno.
Kasi
it was so violent for the children.
I
yung
mean,
reason.
make it make
Yun
sense.
yung true reason?
And then, ito pa. Kaya I saw the reality, So my mom had a business, okay? We were selling, syempre, as a businessman, kung anong makuha mo, you sell it, di ba? So we were selling second-hand tires. Then all of a sudden, one day, ang daming pulis pumunta sa bahay. And then my mom was ordered that you have to close this shop. Sabi ng mom ko, why? Because may order ang government na bawal na ang second-hand tires. Ang pwede na lang is yung mga tires imported from the States, like Firestone, BF Goodrich.
My God.
Second-hand tires, wala na.
So, ano nangyari sa business nyo?
Wala, tinigil.
And ano yung reason kung bakit biglang bawal na mag-second hand
Because
selling?
there was a proclamation order ng presidente na bawal na simula ngayon. There was no debate.
Oo.
Diba?
Parang you couldn't even, like, I don't know, give
Like,
your
for
2
instance,
cents, right? Na parang,
there
okay,
was
this
no
law is going
debate.
to affect this many people and this many businesses. They're gonna go out of business.
Precisely.
Ganyan, wala
And
na.
the second-hand tires were being used by the jeepney drivers because it was very expensive to buy the brand new tires.
Yeah.
Totoo.
So it was closed, already closed. Okay?
Yeah.
So there was a sense of, biruin mo, bata ako, I could see policemen coming into my house, into our house, with all their rifles, Armalite rifles, and checking all the papers. So that's why you cannot, kung sa akin, hindi ko pwede mabura yun nung nangyari na yun.
Oo.
And that's sad, Asher, kung ganun ba talaga na ang nangyayari ngayon dyan,
Nakakalimutan na yung...
nakakalimutan na what happened.
I mean, ang ano ba, ang remarkable sa present movement ngayon, yung mga tumutulak para i-preserve kung ano talaga yung nangyari, ay yung mga tao na hindi pa pinanganak at hindi na-experience yung panahon na iyon. Like myself, the millennials and Gen Zers mostly. Sila ngayon yung tumutulak. This started nung nilibing nga sa libingan ng bayani.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Ang tinatawag nilang
Nalasing ako after nun. Super.
Ang tinatawag nilang best president, di ba? O nameke ng war records, ng awards. Pero nilibing pa rin sa kasama ng mga sundalo, mostly mga sundalo na nagtangkol sa atin laban sa mga foreign invaders ng panahon na iyon. So, doon nagsimula yung movement na nakikita nila na parang binabago yung kasaysayan.
But it was way before that. Like, it was before this administration, there was already like a different history about the Philippine dictatorship online.
Sa totoo, kasi ang nangyayari is mahina yung
that was the
education system
result.
dito.
Alam mo yon, yun yung naging result. Is that, yun na yung iniisip ng mga tao because there was already that movement beforehand. I think like, we just have to acknowledge. Yung fear ko ay, we can't even acknowledge the facts. Yun yung fear ko. Na parang we can't even say, no, like this happened. And then there's a group that's gonna say, no, that never happened. Or no, that was like, oh, that happened because they were all rebels, right? Like everyone that was jailed and tortured, they were all like NPA, they were all communists, which is not true. Like, we have to be able to acknowledge the truth and then, fine, if you still support that, then you support it. Pero yung parang nawawala na yung truth. Yun yung fear ko.
You know, last night, I had a get together with friends, and then kasama nila yung teenage sons nila, no? And then there was this teenager who told, Tito Brett, ano ba, bakit when you talk about nag-uusap kayo ng dad ko, you always talk about politics and you always think na tama kayo. Tapos, baka tama naman din yung kabila. Sabi ko, yes, basically totoo yan. But we have to, may grounding dapat, sabi ko.
Correct.
Sabi ko,
Yun.
dapat meron facts. Okay? Ito ang nangyari. Now, what we don't want, ayaw ko makipag-usap sa isang tao na i-deny mo yung nangyari. Na, kunyari, for example, maraming namatay sa martial law. Okay? Sasabihin mo, wala naman namatay eh. Huwag na tayo magdebate kung gano'n.
Oo, correct.
Oo.
Kasi,
parang we're living in a different world, di ba?
Parang
different world, sorry.
Walang sense. Wala tayong pag-uusap, wala tayong raratingan. Dahil kasi, if we agree na maraming namatay, okay. Ang paninindigan mo, namatay dahil kasi gera, okay. Let's debate on it. The merits of it. But we cannot deny the fact na may nangyaring ganito, di ba?
Oo.
Yeah.
Okay.
At dito na segue ko lang doon sa last episode. Dito nagsimula yung term na mapulot ka sa kangkungan.
Oh. Alam mo ba
Diba?
bakit yung term na yan napupulot ka sa kangkungan?
Sige, Tito Brett, tell us. Kahit alam ko na, George.
Ang panahon yan ng nung martial law.
Martial law.
Kung meron kang, kumbaga, rebelde ka, napaghinalaan kang rebelde ka, papatayin ka at makikita ang katawan mo sa kangkungan.
Yeah.
That's why.
Oo.
And parang reality lang talaga yon noon, di ba?
Hindi, kasi hindi ko naiintindihan, Janine. If that is what is happening in the Philippines, na it's just tinatawag mong just binubura yung ano nangyari. Okay? That's bad because that's what happened in Germany. They had to burn every book. Sasabihin nila na ang bagong narrative. No. Masama yan.
Pero Tito Brett, there's hope, okay? Like what Asher said, there are a lot of young people that are very passionate about making sure that we don't forget. #never forget. And there was a viral, I don't know if it was an ad or something, na parang millennials, and then they're asked about the time of martial law and the dictatorship, and they're like, ganyan, parang okay naman daw, ganyan, parang umasenso naman daw Pilipinas. And then they were put in front of a victim of martial law, of torture, and then they had to like listen to the story. And as in, nakakaiyak. Yung sobrang intense ng ginawa. Like, we think parang torture, whatever, sa ibang bansa yan, but it happened in our country.
Totoo.
And parang na-convert sila
Janine,
because it's a
Asher,
true story.
I still remember when it was 1983, 86, I was in grade 6. And then, meron kaming probinsya, di ba? And then, ang feeling namin noon, the Philippines, sobrang gulo because the communist rebels have already encircled one province and they were ready to strike. And the feeling was that the government will fall in a matter of months. Ganun ka turbulent yung times na yun.
Super tense.
Pero pang libro, Diyos ko.
So you cannot say to me that it was the golden age of the Philippines. No. Because kaliwat kanan, pupunta akong Cubao, kasi nandun yung Cubao was the only parang mall sa Pilipinas. Nandiyan yung Ali Mall.
Oo.
Pag papunta ka ng Cubao, meron ka madadaan ng mga textile factory. Bawat textile factory may strike. So how can you say to me na golden age yun, walang strike? Hindi nga eh.
Oo. Yung problem, Tito Brett, is that there was a time when Marcos was able to make the Philippine economy grow. Like, his first term was a good term. Alam mo yon? And then, I mean, I guess like greed, everything like came out, control, power, whatevs. So, biglang bumaba. So, parang ngayon, na past, lahat yon nakakumpul sa isang past and isang presidente, they can, parang, if you have the money and the resources, you can pick and choose what you're going to feed to the public. Right? I mean, social media, as long as you pay, go. Diba? Parang boost, whatevs. So they can pick and choose only the good things, and that's what they feed their audience.
Ganito yun eh. Ganito
diba?
yung sinasabi ko sa Golden Age eh. Oo, marami ka nakita. Okay? Marami ka nakitang, andyan ang Cultural Center. Nandyan na yung South Luzon Expressway. Okay? Andyan na lahat. Okay. Bago. Ang unang tanong ko, ano nangyari yan? Inutang eh.
True.
Binabayaran pa rin natin yan eh.
Binabayaran pa natin yan eh. Kumbaga, bago kang empleyado, bago kang yapi ka, yung millennial ka, nakakuha ka ng trabaho dahil kasi may bago ka sweldo, inutang mo yan. So may bago kang kotse. Okay, may bago kang condominium. Yun lang. When will it bite you? At the end, dahil kasi hindi mo na mababayaran yun.
Mm-mm.
Correct?
Oo.
Ay, sus ko.
I mean, Tito, the isang discussion itong parang chismis, fake news, propaganda, 'di ba? Parang it's one discussion, but even just going into that part of our history is another very lengthy episode.
Oh.
Actually, totoo. Parang kailangan natin ng part 2.
Correct. But like, I just want to say na, like, for me, okay, I accept that people will support different, I don't know, politicians and families, fine. But then I just don't want to lose the truth. You know, like it's something that we have to fight for. No matter who we're supporting. It's like, let's know what the truth is. And I think that's something we can learn from Germany, not Spain, because apparently they don't even talk about the dark part of their history.
We
But
don't talk about Franco.
Correct. And sobrang intense pa rin yung mga Franco supporters dito.
Oo.
But, ayun, parang, like, sana we can agree on a truth.
Well,
diba?
to answer Ate Janine's question kanina, parang, bakit nga ba nangyari to? Number one, okay, the propaganda. But way before that is yung education system natin, yung materials natin. At the risk of at the risk of being labeled divisive or like partisan, yung mga publishers ng history books ay parang nagiging neutral about martial law and the later Marcos era. So doon na nagsisimula na parang there are some elements that are trying to cast doubt on the veracity of the history. Wait lang ha. Oy, diba kailan mo Tita Mels? Pakisabi kay Tita Mels, pakibayad yung utang niya, tagal-tagal na. Sige.
Iba yung commitment ni Asher.
Okay, dahil lang. Kasi may narinig akong kaibigan ko, kailan niya yung ang tagal na may bayad, ang tagal na may utang dito sa sari-sari store. Na sa akin. Yung pagdating pa lang yung tita ko, sabi niya, ito,
naninilaw na yung
kailangan mo
niya,
to,
yung papel niya.
Tita Mels, may utang yan. Laki na
Bawal na siya, cut off.
Cut off na. Pero that's number one challenge, yung education system. Number two is there's another challenge, but more on the future, is yung present and future is yung pag-maintain dun sa mga non-profit NGOs. Kasi those who are at the forefront of civil society organizations are still those who are the ones who experience martial law o yung mga anak na mga tinatawag nating desaparecidos. Hindi na sila bumabata pa, sabi nga sa akin, hindi na kami bumabata pa, pero ang hirap makahanap ng parang successor na pwede magpatuloy ng trabaho ito because it's an unthinkable job. Na
and for them, it's very personal. Diba?
Saka
so
yung bayad hindi lang mabayaran kasi ngayon para makapagtrabaho ka, syempre parang gusto mo mabayaran ka, which is okay naman kasi syempre kailangan mong gastusin yung kailangan mong i-sustain yung sarili mo.
Practical.
Pero they don't do it for for a pay. And that's the dedication that I see. And that's also what they're having difficulty to find. Either they need to have funds to pay people who want to work for them, or they really need to have people who have the dedication na they could work, na hindi sila kailangan bayaran, or at least like with the minimum, bare minimum na bayan for the same work that they are doing now. And that's the challenge of these organizations. Sana nga may makapagpatuloy pa ng ginagawa nila.
Yun na nga. It's just sad na ganyan nangyayari, no?
Yeah. Ako yung conclusion ko, Tito Brett, before yours, kasi ikaw dapat yung mag-e-end kasi ikaw yung may kwentong totoo and experience. But for me, like, another Pinoy thing I see na contrast from living abroad is that we don't like talking about nega things. Diba? Parang non-confrontational tayo in a way. Parang, if something nega happened, parang medyo di na natin pag-uusapan. 'Di ba? Parang skirt around it na lang para walang conflict. Na in a way, okay siya because we know how to get along well with each other and other people. But then, in terms of history, wala eh. May mga dark parts talaga ng history na kailangan natin pag-usapan. And baka parang that's one thing, is that we have to get the courage to talk to each other about difficult topics, even if we know that it might offend. Especially like within family, within like friends, we have to be able to be open enough to talk about it, and like, I don't know, courageous enough to bring it up. Lalo na pag may mga intense family members tayo na.
Ako, this is my 2 cents, okay? Before we end this show. And I would like to address this to the millennials, to the youth. Just imagine a world na you don't have Facebook. You cannot say anything. Just imagine a world that when you go out at 12 o'clock, at 11 o'clock, you have to be home at 12 o'clock. Just imagine a world na you don't know if your dad or your mom will get arrested. Just imagine a world where you don't know one day policemen will just barge into your house and take your brother or your mother or father. That is what happened during the days of martial law. And as Gen X, when we lived through that, there were people who fought for your freedom today, so that you could enjoy your expression. You are millennials, that you could say whatever you want, and people fought for that right, for your right to do that. Kaya I appeal, do not forget, never forget yung pinaglaban ng mga parents nyo during the days of the dictatorship. There was a dictatorship and we shall never forget it. Okay?
Ganda, Tito Brett.
Amen.
Yes.
Amen.
Okay. Mukha yatang napainit ang
Intense.
katawan natin.
Intense. Woo.
Oh, shout out pala kay Tita Lorraine, baka mamaya isumbong na naman ako dito.
I-promote mo yung sari-sari store niya para mas dumami ang benta.
Hindi, ibang tita yun, ibang tita.
Okay. Sorry, tita.
Okay. So, ito si Tito Brett sa Frankfurt, Germany, nagsasabing magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat, at sana po sa susunod, sumama po ko tayo sa another kwentuhang episode. At ang aking mga partners,
Yes, Ate Janine from Spain.
At si Kuya Asher mula sa isang sari-sari store in an undisclosed location. Nagkasabing, bayaran ng utang, at kung hindi kaya bayaran, wag ka nang mangutang. God knows who does not pay, sabi nga nila.
ang ganda doon. Okay, thank you. Okay, mga kababayan, bye-bye.